Hey fam! Welcome to MIKEroaggress'd Tuesday. I've been so looking forward to this. I am so excited. Say hello to my beautiful guest, Jennifer.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm so
Going
excited. Yes.
Oh my god, I saw this girl on Twitter maybe last week or something, and I'm going through reading it, riveted by everything. I'm like, I have got to get you on my show.
No, it's a bit, yeah. I do have a bit of a wild story. I used to hide it a lot back in the day, because of shame and, it's very unusual. But now, obviously, after talking about it for quite a bit now, I'm just kind of used to the boring, my boring
Boring.
life
I
now.
want I want to read the hardcover, the paperback. I want the movie. I want the limited series. I want to watch every minute of it. Also, hello to all of our beautiful chat friends. What's up, B? Alec. I've not seen you in a bit. Alec, Christy, Chris, everybody, thanks for being here. Yes, it is freezing in Florida right now. It's maybe like 50, 60 degrees. It's horrible. Well, so for anyone who doesn't know, you're in the UK. How's that
Yes.
going?
For me, well, it's actually freezing here too, to be honest. I've got my heating just now. But yeah, no, to be honest, like everything's okay. It's just politically, it's just a little bit like tethering onto like dystopian and yeah, just kind of a little bit scary, but hopefully some sense will come back. Hopefully.
Where does talking about Scientology rank in the UK? Because I know if you want to talk about the transes, if you want to talk about you face being arrested, is Scientology protected by the law as much in the UK as it is somewhere like LA here, or do they just not care?
No, Scientology does have a foothold in the police, especially down south. That's why a lot of things get kind of like, covered up and not talked as much. Um, but they kind of like being like, I think the whole situation kind of changed for Scientology when Leah Remini came out with her miniseries, yeah, exposing Scientology, and now they kind of like really have taken a back seat, and they're like, if it's not positive, we don't, want to be talked about at all.
Wait, by the way, sorry, chat is saying they can't hear me. Is it fine now? I hit the switch. StreamYard keeps doing this weird thing where it's like flipping the switch on the microphone that's not supposed to be on. So tell me y'all can hear me now. I think you can. I hope you can.
And can you hear me all right, though? It's
You
okay.
sound great. All right, hopefully you guys hear me. I'm moving it closer regardless.
Yeah. To be honest, I
Um
hear you much better now. So,
okay,
yeah.
good. Yeah, it keeps doing this weird thing. Anyway, Jennifer, oh my god. Like I said, I want to hear everything. I have so many questions. So, I guess let's start at the beginning. Were you born into Scientology? Were you brought into it at a young age?
Yes, that's correct. So that's the latter. I was brought into it when I was 5 years old, and
Wow.
I was raised in tandem with being a Christian, because in Scientology, that's how they kind of get people in. They know other people have religions. So they say, oh, even if you have a different religion, you can still practice and be a Scientologist. But then there is a time when you go up the levels that they're like, drop your other religion because your religion is false. So
Were your parents in Scientology?
my mother was, yes. So it was a bit of a weird one because she went to France from the Caribbean. She left me in the Caribbean, was really young. And then she went to France to kind of like find work and stuff. And then she found the Scientologists, unfortunately. And basically, what happened is, my mother was never maternal. So it was definitely their influence. And basically, with cults, they need children. And I'm sure you can see if we're having like a look at the similarity as well with different cults, and even like the transgenderism cults, they need children
Mhm.
because it's so much easier to program children. And it's very hard once a child is being programmed to also deprogram them later on in life, because that's what happened essentially to me as well. So yes, so she kind of like got me back. She was like, okay, I need to take responsibility for you. You're my daughter. I'm taking you back. And yeah, my life's been shit ever since.
Well, so when you say take you back into Scientology.
Take me back as in like she left me behind
Mm-hmm.
like when I was a baby, and then but she was kind of finding work. So she said she'll take me back, literally like a mother would. I know it's a
Jesus.
concept she's struggling with because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and yeah, it's not ideal. But that's basically how it was for me, unfortunately. Hence why I never built like a strong bond with her, because she was absent quite a while until I was 5 years old, and then it was just like the cult life, really. So basically, I was kind of like raised in Paris, and like I said, both as a Christian and a Scientologist. And then when I was 10 years old, that's when I signed the contract for the Sea Organization for 1 billion years.
It's funny. It sort of just went off in my head too, because you talk a lot about how it's related to the transgender cult. And I'm really understanding that now, because it's the same way that what does a 10-year-old have any capacity of knowing what a billion-year contract is, let alone adults knowing what a billion-year contract is. Just the same as what do kids know about, wanting to alter their bodies for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. And you see a similarity as well in the teachings of Scientology, where it's like children are not children. Children are adults in small bodies. That's literally how they think about basically a child. So you can't treat a child like a child in Scientology, which raises alarm bells. But again, you see the similarity with the transgenderism. Like a child, if they know if they transgender when they're 3 years old, it's like, well, no, actually, that's no, they're just a child.
That's
So
insane. So do you
absolutely.
remember what it was that got your mother hooked into Scientology?
I cannot tell you. I really can't tell you. What I can see in retrospect, me being just a little bit wiser now, is, everybody wants to do well in life. If your life is not going great, or you're finding it hard to, like, be stable financially, you're going to try to find a community or something that's going to pick you up. Or just, even I strive to be better as a person. I
Mm-hmm.
fail, but I do try to be better as a person. And a lot of people do that through religion, and some do it through, alternative. Once they've lost faith in religion, they might find different, or even develop their own kind of come up with their own cults, basically. So in retrospect, I think that's probably what spoke to her, is that she wanted to do well, but yeah, it's like nothing really became of her. She just became a slave to the Scientology church, and so did I in the end of the day.
What's interesting too is that I think most cults, if you just look at what they say on the ground level, it's inherently good. If it's trans stuff, then it's just, oh, respecting everyone. If it's leftism, it's, oh, ending racism and helping the poor. And with Scientology, if you look at the stuff that they talk about on the ground level about big pharma and stuff like that, I completely agree. But they're using these real issues for their own nefarious means.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what I call a hook,
Yeah.
is when they mix truth or honesty, but then it's just to cover, like sugarcoat really what's going on, in the background. So like L. Ron Hubbard, when you hear him talk, he's like, oh, everybody is inherently good, Again, it sounds very similar to other religion, perhaps Christianity, where it's like, you were born, created perfect by God. It's only because of the devil, I think, that, and sin, that you became a bad person. So his idea is the same, like we're all born inherently good, but it's our, the fact that we've been hurt in the past or that we've done harm that's made us worse people, but we can be saved,
By giving them your money.
Yeah. It comes down to it at the end of the day. It's always about the money,
So you're 5 years old. You're brought into Scientology. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? Like, what were your interactions like with them? I was going to say with the church. I hate to even call them that. With the cult
The
as a
cult,
kid,
yeah.
are they good with kids? Or they? I don't picture them being good with kids. Do they get you on the cans to confess your sins?
In the Sea Org, yes.
So were
When
you
I
in the
was
Sea Org?
Yeah, when I was 10, that's how I became, like, I came to England, really. But they are really good as children, because like when we see with transgenderism, the cult of, you see a lot of adults creating bonds with children in an attempt to groom them into
Mm-hmm.
the cult. So, and how that looks like is to treat, again, like, a child, like as if they had responsibilities, they were adults, and as a child, you're not seen like, or you don't feel like somebody sees you as a child. They see you as an equal. And that is perfect. It's a perfect environment to groom a child, you know?
I
So
would think that comes across as very appealing to kids.
it does. I mean, I'm sure people could relate to perhaps like a school teacher that was so cool, that behaved a
Yeah.
little bit like childlike, that we really liked, because he was or she was one of us, um, whereas we've had other teachers that were really withdrawn. It was very professional. It was
Mm-hmm.
like you just knew the last name. You didn't know if they were married. You didn't know their sexual orientation. You didn't know anything about them. They were Mrs. or Mr. And then that's it,
Mm-hmm.
but you had always that one teacher that was a little bit more hip, and then it's just like, in retrospect, when I look at it, it's just kind of like, nah, I prefer the the separation of adult child,
Yeah.
personally. It's
Especially now when you have kindergarten teachers on TikTok. Hey kids, let me tell you about all the gay butt sex I'm having. Like, can we just go back to where we didn't know your first names?
right. No, but I totally agree, and I know people might look at this conversation and think, oh, that's regressive, and I'm like, no, I think that is proper. There's, children are children. They're small. We need boundaries.
Yeah.
With when it comes to children, a child needs boundaries, and that I think that's where it adults should always have and maintain that kind of boundary, with at the same time being relatable. You
Yeah.
can be relatable. A child can respect you. You can form bonds, but
So do you think Scientology could tell that there were issues between you and your mother? Your mother had left you in another country. Do you think that that's something that they prey on, or are they just open to anyone?
they're open to anyone who
Really?
bring a child. Yes, because like back in the day as well, I think before when I sort of became a Scientologist, like that was back when Tom Cruise was married to Nicole Kidman,
Oh my god.
and that was the time as well. He was like a Scientologist, but a bit on the down low. So he wasn't doing this massive, marketing strategy for them. So it was still seen a bit like, as a cult, as opposed to like, oh, we're a religion, you know. So so yeah, it was just like the numbers count, how many people are brought in, how many people, you know, have walked through the door, how many people have taken the aptitude tests, or, you know, done the little test on the e-meter thing, you know, like it was just like driving people in, and it was just a big marketing strategy like that. So it was,
It probably was that era too. After they got divorced, it seems like everything wrapped up for Scientology. It was that era that in New York, where I'm from, they would have them on every other block, the free tests, and they'd have the soup cans. I remember I was like a
yes.
teenager. I was like, oh, let's go screw with them. And it felt like if you squeeze them harder, you could see the needle jump. So whenever they would ask me anything scandalous, I would just squeeze them and be like, have you ever thought about murdering someone? Squeeze.
But you know what? It's. I think it's one of these things that made me lose faith in it, because apparently this machine always can pick up your lies. You know, it's about like a lie detector, and the amount of lies I've told on that machine. Oh my God! And then they were always like, "Oh, you've passed," and I was just like, you know, I'm like, "Yeah, great," but at the same time, I was like, "No, it's not working, is it?"
So how old were you when you had to start doing that? They call it auditing, right? Where you were hooked up to that. So how old were you when they started you on that?
Um, before the C organization, I couldn't afford it. But when you join the C organization, you kind of get it for free, because you're kind of like a staff member. So that's how people get into the Sea Org as well. Is because instead of forking out $250,000 to get auditing, they get it for free. You
Oh, how
know.
generous of them.
Exactly, but
And when you say, just so I guess for people who aren't as familiar, let's see, the Sea Org, what would you describe that as? That Scientology's basically like their military?
yes, that's word for word. Yes, absolutely. So it's basically, it's like the Vatican City, if you want to put it like that's what it is. Yeah, it's like the Vatican for, you know, Christianity. Um, so it's yeah, it's just really high. It's like where everything runs in the background, like, you know, all the little orgs that you see in the streets, that the people that run it in the background. So but it is also like run in a very like Navy style,
How
military
so?
style, just kind of like, you know, doing drills and running everywhere, and, you know, like saluting,
Oh,
learning how to
God.
do your dress right, dress left, you know, about faces. You know, you had the whole like uniform to match and stuff, and, you know, just very, very like military style.
And is that on a ship? You live on a ship, or is that just sometimes?
There is the Free Winds, which is where it started, which is a ship.
Oh, okay.
But you have a few bases, one in Copenhagen, one in the UK at Saint Hill, East Sussex, I think it is, or West Sussex, I can't remember now. There is one in Florida, Tampa, Florida. That's the Mecca of Scientology.
Is that the Clearwater?
Yeah, that's it. Yes,
Oh, it's apparent
Clearwater.
that city is apparently now just like abandoned buildings that are owned by Scientology.
Yeah, that's where they hide the money. So the money that they steal from people, or get donated, quote unquote, that's where they hide it in real estate. So so yeah, it's just like that, but it's very, very strict. You know, it's like every week we have to pass these kind of tests to see if we've done anything wrong, and hold the cans, and, you know, we
What
do
sort of stuff would they
confession.
ask you?
You know, first they want to check if you're, you know, you're not stealing anything, not stealing money, not stealing food, not
Of course,
stealing.
that's their first concern, not our money.
But it's, you know what comes close second, and it bugged me like back in the day. It was always about like they'll try to find something of a sexual nature that you done.
Even as a
Masturbation.
child?
Yes, yes. So no, I mean, I'm not kidding. It is that weird because there you're not well, you were not allowed to have sex with anyone until you married, okay, to them. Obviously, at the age of consent in the UK was back then there was like 16 that you could get married. But for anyone who's not married, you cannot have sex with anyone, but you can also not, you're not allowed to masturbate. All right. You're not allowed to masturbate. So it was just kind of like they will always try to catch you out all the time with
That's
that.
what they would ask you as a child on
Yes,
the auditing?
constantly. Like, do you masturbate? And that's actually one of the reason that I know that the e-meter wasn't working because I'd be at it constantly. And then they'll be like, do you masturbate? I do not. And they're like, okay, you pass. And I'm like,
That's insane. And they're asking this to children.
oh yeah, no, to everyone, because you're not a child. You're not a
That's
child.
right.
Yeah,
Which is very scary, and you're right. That is the ideology of both the gender cult and of Scientology. Like when children are not viewed as children, it allows adults with nefarious motives to get away with anything.
exactly. So it's
Oh, that's
yeah,
so
it's
sick.
wild, isn't it? But
That's
no, it's just like it's just constantly like they're like, and you know what? Like I feel like in my brain, people need to keep some kind of secrets. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I don't think we as human are meant to like be saying everything that's on our mind to someone, or like like our deepest, darkest secrets to everyone. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it
and I think
just
especially nowadays, you open Instagram or TikTok, you're like, God, I want to know less about people. Like half the shit I know about people is against my will.
it's so true though. I
Like, can we
just
all know a
feel like
little
there's
less about
things
each
that
other?
yeah, you don't need to know everything. You don't need
Yeah.
to know. And but it's like on the other side as well, like when you don't have a choice to kind of like always have to voice a thought, a bad thought that you had, or a sexy thought that you had, or all of this stuff. It's just like it was just exhausting. It's like mental torture, actually.
What would happen if they caught you lying on it or something like that, or if you gave an answer they didn't like?
They'll keep repeating the question, and you will be stuck in that room with the auditor for hours. It could be
Oh my
like nine
god.
hours, 10 hours, until they you give them an answer that is that they would accept. Okay, so there's been times that, to be honest, I lay off the masturbation. I was just very like golden, like following all the rules, and then suddenly it was like, "Oh, you've done something bad. What have you done?" And I'm just like, I sit there. And I'm like, I literally have not done anything, and it's like 8 hours in a room being asked, like, you know because they called it like a missed withhold. It's like something that you've done that you shouldn't have done. They keep asking you, do you have a missed withhold? Over and over and over and over and over and over, like for hours on end. And I'm, like people who know Scientology and know the seal and knows the confessionals will agree that it's just like it is like mental torture and mental
Yeah.
yeah, just wearing you down until like sometimes I've literally made up something that I've not done, but just said, here, have this, I thought about this and that. And then, the guy's got like a smug look on his face, like, well, I knew you'd say, it's just like, no, mate, I just
Oh.
made that up because otherwise I'm never going to get away from this room.
And I assume that they'll just make this shit up as just a way of compliance testing you to just put
Yeah,
you through all of that torture.
absolutely. And it's effective. It
Yeah.
really is. It's effective. I think I mean, you can break people through violence, but you break them better without violence, just psychological torture, and at least it's not physical, because if it becomes physical, people tend to walk away easier. But if
Oh,
it's
wow.
mental, you kind of tend to stay. You know what I mean? It's a bit
Yeah.
like if you're having a relationship with like a narcissistic personality, then might not necessarily beat you,
Oh,
then
I've
might
been there.
but you stay. It kind of conditions you slowly and slowly, and it's until you're a version of yourself that you don't recognize,
That's
and that
very
you
true.
just follow well, go with the flow, really.
So
Yeah.
you're 10 when you join the Sea Org. What's that
Mm.
look like on a day to day? Are you still with your mom at this point, or have they just kind of taken? Are you being left with them?
Yes, so basically it was like the Sea Org. Each org had a like a cadet org, which was like an independent org, but for the children, run by a couple of adults, depending on the size of it. But those kids never saw their parents, and nor did I.
For
So
how long?
for weeks on end, weeks on end.
Okay, this is the thing that I don't understand about Scientology is how they're getting away with this shit. Because how is that legal?
It's not, but because they're registered as like a religious body, it's kind
Mm,
of like, and then they're really good at their public relations. They're really, really good, because even though every year we had like a government inspector coming around to just make sure that we were being taught the curriculum and all of that, we would be drilled on what to say to this person, like, oh, I love being here, and that's great, and like literally we've been given script that we had to like
wow.
face a blank wall and then memorize and then speak to the wall these kind of script, or we'll do like what you called it, like mock interviews, like
Oh my
somebody
god.
pretends to be the government official, and they ask a question, and then you'll have to basically say verbatim the answer to that question as you were taught. So it's, yeah,
Jesus.
but
So
your
when you're being
children,
taken
yeah.
away from your family for weeks on end, like what are you doing throughout that time? Just drills all day or
Because with children, we had like school,
mm,
um, but it wasn't like normal school. It's just like you self learn, um, like maths and like English. But half the time I was just reading a book under the table. So
yeah.
I've got like no education whatsoever. I do have like a GCSE for English, but that's all the education that I have. Got no
Mm.
diplomas or anything like that, because yeah, it's just like you self learn your normal school curriculum, and
What do you mean
children.
self-learn? They're just like, here's the multiplication tables, learn it.
Yeah, that's basically. And
Really?
when you're a kid, self-learning doesn't work, does it? You
Yeah.
just you get distracted.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of them were just reading like tabloid magazine under the table. I was reading books. It was just kind of like it just did not work. So a lot of us just to be honest, a lot of the children were illiterate. Some of us kind of like, you know, we
Wow.
learned through like reading and things like that, but a lot of them were illiterate and didn't know how to read, didn't know how to spell.
You would think
Maths,
child welfare might want to step in there, but no.
no, no,
That's
because also
unbelievable.
they buy the police, you know,
That's what I
so
was
they
thinking.
they do like they offer like donations to the police, and the police kind of like stay away
Wow.
in return.
That's
So
unbelievable.
yeah, no, yeah. So it was kind of like my life. It's like when you, as a child, you get up and at 9 a.m. you have to be in class, and then you've got like a break, lunch. You finish, I think, about 3 o'clock or half three, and then they put us like they make us do child labor from like from about 4 or half 3, can't remember, but until about 8:39 p.m. So we like have to clean the whole place because we lived in the manor. So the whole manor would be cleaned by us every day.
That's
And
what you're
then,
giving them all that money for.
right? No, but it was that's the wildest thing that I've like, if they pay you a proper wage or something, it would have been like, okay, fair enough, but they don't pay you anything, and you just end up working like 16 to 20-hour days sometimes. And at the
While
end of the
just doing
week, they
slave
give you,
labor.
yeah, yeah. And then you just kind of like get an allowance of 33 pounds per week.
33 pounds. That's like, so that's what, like
That,
$60 a week?
yes, that's it. Yeah. And
Wow.
then, but they say, oh, normally you'd be paid more, but obviously we give you birthing and food and all of that comes out. And I'm like, yeah, that's a crappy deal, to be honest.
Yeah. And so throughout all this, your mom is paying them substantially, I would guess.
No, she's not paying them at all. No,
Oh,
it's
really?
yeah, she's not paying them because she's working, she's doing the slave labor herself,
So it's
she's
basically an exchange they're making. Give us your child as our slave. You work as our slave. And then you don't have
and
to
then,
give us all your money.
yeah, that's it.
Wow.
No, that's it. That's exactly what it is. Oh man, but it's, yeah, that's basically what life was. And eventually, we get to finish school. I think it was 16 years old, but you could join the actual Sea Org, as in like able to like work for them in that capacity at 14 years old. So that's when I kind of like, I was still going to school during the day, but instead of cleaning, I'd go in and then helped, at the Saint Hill Manor,
So what would you be
So
doing instead then?
I would either go study more L. Ron Hubbard scripture,
Mm.
or I'd do like either hard labor or just like anything that was needed, like sending letters and, anything that trying to bring people in, Um, oh gosh, that was like a long time ago now. I'm just getting old. So yeah, no, it was just kind of like that's how it started. And then when you hit 16, that's like, yeah, you finish school, no more school for you. And from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m. at night, you're there. And then you just work, like doing everything from like cleaning to sending letters. I had a specific job, which was to print all of the L. Ron Hubbard scriptures so that the students could study them. So it was like the best job because I was like, I put myself like in this underground office where I could play music. I didn't have to talk to anyone. I didn't have
Oh,
to do.
wow.
I just, used to print stuff all day, and that was like the best thing that I could have done because otherwise I would have, gone crazy.
Well, so when they say the Sea Org is Scientology's military, what war do they think they're fighting? Is it like, oh, Clearwater is going to invade Miami? Like, what do they tell you guys for why they need this sort of military?
I think the military thing is more about discipline, isn't it? Yeah. So when
Mm.
you've got like like a group of people to kind of elicit some kind of order, you do need some discipline, and I think you get that from like drilling. You get that through doing musters, team building exercises, like even corporations do it, but not obviously like to that intensity.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yeah, they're like, really the war was the war on evil, the war against psychiatrists, suppressive people, people who are evil and want you to to be eternally damned as a spirit, I guess. So yeah, it's just kind of like, that Scientology is just such a wild thing that every time I'm trying to explain it, it's like, how did I even believe in this?
Well, no, I mean, you were 5 when you joined. You never knew anything else. Like any of us, if this was all we ever knew, would think that it's normal. And that is why they prey on kids.
Yes. No, you've got a point there, but it's like, explain to me what Scientology is, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed just thinking about it.
You shouldn't be. You should be proud of being so strong that most people, or do most people stay in it, you think? Like, so when you were the other kids who were around when you were a kid, are most of them still there?
Most are. A few have left as well, like I have. Some have left because they got pregnant or had babies, which is, you can't have babies now because of,
even if you're married.
Yeah, because that's how the seal of the Cadet was born. They were allowing children to be born into it, but they were getting a little bit too much like scrutiny as well. Like a whole bunch of kids are in this place. They're not going to school. Yes, we're sending government official to check on them, but also it's just a little bit weird, isn't it? So it was just like, it started being a little bit scrutinized, and they thought, you know what, it's not worth it. If you have children, they must be at least like 16 to join now. But yeah, I literally arrived just as they cut off the age restriction to like from 10 to like 16.
Wow.
Yeah. So now, if any of the staff members had children after they got married, firstly, they will always push the women to have an abortion because they didn't want to lose the staff.
That's insane.
So many women had multiple abortions. A lot that didn't want these abortions, but it seemed like, treasonous to kind of like, have a baby.
That's what I was going to ask. So if you're a woman who gets pregnant, they tell you have to have an abortion. You say no. Then what happens?
Then
do you become a suppressive person?
It depends how you go about it. But if you say no, and then they say yes, then they put you on hard labor. They ostracize you from the
pregnant
group.
Woman.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But she can always play like, she can always use certain L. Ron Hubbard scriptures to kind of like spin it, like, this is a good thing for me. This is what L. Ron Hubbard says about children and da-di-da-di-da. So that then eventually, after doing and being ostracized for like at least 6 months and also separated from her husband, yes, they're like, they don't get to sleep in the same room anymore. Then they have to like leave, and that's when they get back together after not seeing each other for like at least 6 months to a year.
Wow. All right, these are some real evil bastards. That's just how it seems to me.
Yeah.
Doing this shit. And what I don't understand is like when they say, oh, L. Ron Hubbard wrote that. Who gives a shit what L. Ron Hubbard wrote? Like, it's just so bizarre to me. This random guy who wrote science fiction novels Like, who gives a shit what he has to say versus what? Oh, well, Mary Higgins Clark said this, so let me live my life by that. It's so strange to me.
You know, can I just say, like, just to let you know the level of commitment they all had to this guy was that he wrote this himself, okay? In every single room of every organization in the world, okay, there must be a picture of him hanging up. In every single room, there must be a picture of him hanging up, which then we would have to clap to about 3 times a day to say thank you
To
for,
like give applause.
yeah, like, yay.
Oh,
And then
God.
also, like, 3 times, like when we go, like, do the muster in the morning, afternoon, evening, and at night, we always have to, like when we're in a great hall, or any other places, we always had to clap to his picture and do 3 cheers, you know, hip hip, hooray, hip hip.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
I'm so embarrassed.
And it's not like Elron was exactly a looker, so you're having to sit there and applaud this fat man.
Yeah, with terrible teeth. I did not know. Like, I was like, I felt so bad even thinking, like, oh my gosh, this guy has got the most rotten teeth I've ever seen on anyone. You know, it's just like, oh, where is the dental hygiene?
Couldn't he cure himself?
He had the money. I don't know what he did with the money, but he
That's the
didn't.
thing. When it comes to like creating an international scam and enriching yourself, he was no dummy. Like, he
Right?
knew what he was doing.
Very intelligent, actually.
Yeah.
Very smart, because he took like a lot of teaching and knowledge from other religions, like Hindu, Christianity, and he just kind of like melded them into one and then called it Scientology.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
So at this point, you're in the Sea Org. Are you having any sort of constant or regular communication with your family, your mom? Or are
Not
you
my
just sort of sent
family.
off?
Yeah, not very much my family, but I could like start seeing my mom a little bit more because we had the same schedule, you know?
So she was in the Sea Org too.
Yeah. So
Or
because we started working at about the same hours, I'd see her a little bit more, but we were in 2 different sides of things. So, you know, it's just like, again, it's you don't really see your parents very much.
Jesus.
But
And
yeah,
so,
I think, go on, sorry.
so while you're doing this, are you still, they call it the bridge, right? Where you get to the next level and the next level. So you're going through that at the same time?
No, the thing is, it's like a privilege to go up the bridge, so you have to like.
It's a privilege?
Yeah, and you do it for free, which is like, no, I'm not doing it for free because you put me to work for like 20 hours a day, so
Lucky you.
I'm definitely paying for it with my life.
That's insane.
But yeah, it's like, it's for them, it's like it's the privilege, and you have to attain a few things, you know, do a few confessionals before you get the right to go up. And yeah, it, for me, it never really happened, you know. I did like the first couple of steps, but I always kind of like rejected the teaching in a way.
So you had questions while you were hearing about those?
Constantly.
What did they sort of start with? Because I've heard you don't find out about Xenu until like deep into it. So what did they sort of start you off with?
So this is very small size, like very clever size by, you know, chunks of like I said, like truth, you know. First they start you with like the way to happiness, you know, like what you can do to make your life better. And even to now, if I read you part of the book, we would all both agree, like to have a better life, you must have your hands clean, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not commit crimes, not being an asshole, not having like a heavy, like a guilty conscience, like conscience, all of this stuff, which is like, yeah, okay. It's not good to lie, it's not good to steal, it's good if you have integrity, that you can stick to, something that you believe in, even if it's difficult. We appreciate these kind of values, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So because they start with things like that, you're like, oh, okay, well, that seems fair. Like these values I want to have, or I already exhibit them in life. So already it creates that connection. All right. Then it gives you like a little bit more like, oh, how do I study so that I take in the information a bit quicker? And one thing that people don't tend to do, and you can see sometimes when you speak to people, and I've seen some of your interviews as well in the street, where people just throw like these words and then you question them, what that mean to you? And they don't know, they can't explain, a
Yeah.
particular political word or buzzword that they've been using. Or what does queer mean? Oh, that's a loaded question. That it's like, no, but what does that mean? You know what I mean? It's a word, and most of them they use these words they don't know the definition of, right? So it's like, obviously, as a person, when you study, if you understand the words that you're reading on the page, you will get the information much quicker, isn't it?
That's what I've
So
noticed is that cults use their own jargon and terminology. The alphabet cult has queer, cis, pronouns, all these things. And Scientology does the same thing too.
identical,
It's like
yes.
trying to create a very distinct reality.
Yes. And also, when you've got these kind of like esoteric terms, you feel more like if people that it's like when you go into a group of friends and then you've got these little words that you use to describe things, it's like it's already like a click, isn't it? You understand each other's
Hmm.
languages. Other people from outside might not, you feel special, and it's like, and it just again creates an attachment, to, like, you get that in the gaming community, like, even online now, the young kids and all of that. It's, yeah.
Well, it's sort of like when they make you say your pronouns. It's a compliance test. Is what it is. They're not confused when they see you. They're not confused that they might call you he or call me she. They know exactly what it is. It's making you show submission to the cult.
Exactly. That's it. That's a really good point there, actually.
Chrissy wants to know how far up the bridge you went.
I didn't get very far. I think I've got through like the purification rundown where they put you in a sauna for like 12 hours,
What?
and then and then and then pump you full of like vitamin C. I had so much diarrhea, you know, because they like
Scientology
overdose
gave you the
you
shits.
on vitamin C, and that obviously upsets your stomach.
Why do they do that?
It's to purify your body, basically. L. Ron Hubbard thought that if you'd taken drugs before, and I didn't,
When would you have
but
had the opportunity? You've been there since you were 5.
exactly. But it's like drugs or like bad food or bad this or like any substance that could be bad for you. They stay in your body forever unless you kind of like sweat them out. And yeah, it's super dangerous actually, because yeah,
Are there
they put
people who've been
you,
injured from this?
yeah, because they put you you know pump you full of like vitamins that, vitamins are good for you, but you're not meant to like be taking 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day.
Mm,
You're not meant to take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin E per day. It's like,
yeah. While
and
in a
then
sauna for 10 hours.
Yes, exactly. And then going to a sauna, and then yeah, just like it's dangerous. I mean, yeah, that you stay hydrated, but the thing it had no basis in modern medicine whatsoever, like
Mm.
at all. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of Scientology, they'll be like, oh no, we know exactly what to do if there's an accident. I'm like, no, you don't. You've got no medical training. You don't even have first aid training, you
Jesus.
know?
And then what happens if somebody is injured? Are they denied? Are they even given medical treatment? Are they taken
They
to a
don't
hospital?
they don't get them medical treatment. They do like what they call Scientology assists, which
What is
is like
that?
it's it's so weird, but there is one that you do is if somebody's injured or passed out, you put a finger on their body and then you'll say, feel my I can't say this with a straight face anymore. Feel my finger.
What? Excuse me?
Do you see what I mean? I can't say it anymore with a straight face.
And
You
you're
say,
so
feel
if you're
my
like really
finger.
sick, you're supposed to be like, oh yes, I feel your finger.
And then you do this on the other side. And then you keep going down all their body over and over. You say the same thing over and over again. And that supposedly fixes the spirit that then fixes the body by itself without the use of medicine.
Oh Christ. And is so when somebody's experiencing that, like they're really sick and someone's saying this shit, do they just pretend to go along with it because they know there will be consequences if they don't?
Not really, because if you don't respond, you just carry on as if the person's responded, because they might have responded telepathically.
Oh
Sorry,
my
you know what
God.
I'm trying to say. But yeah, no, it's literally there is procedures that you have to follow if the person actually physically says yes or says no. It's the same. You just don't care. You just continue and you just still poke them around and ask if they can feel your finger.
That's insane. Jesus. So do you remember back then what were the things that sort of made you start questioning the whole thing?
Yes. For me was the violence in the orgs, the screaming. You meant like it's so hard because people would be worked to the bone. You would see them so many of especially the women as well. Uh, they were hanging on by a thread. I have the feeling that they were like, you don't get enough sleep. All right. Yeah, you get home about like midnight, sometimes later. Then you have to be up for like 6, 7, so that you can go to the org. And then some of them you just get screamed at all day.
Yeah, when you say the violence in it, what specifically?
Well, personally, I have been assaulted like twice by my superior, who, I was like 17 at the time. He was like 36.
Assaulted as a minor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And like I buck authority. I've always done that. It's just kind of like, um, good authority, like good leadership, I'm fine. But if your leadership is not great, I
Mhm.
reject it. And I think that's what happened with this guy. And or the first time that happened was, oh no, actually it was 3 times. Jesus Christ. So yeah, this one time he asked me to do something on my lunch break, and there's a rule: you're not meant to interrupt anybody's lunch break. You get half an hour, from lunch and dinner. But he interrupted me, so I was like,
Yeah,
"What?"
Ron Hubbard was fat. He didn't want anyone interrupting his lunch.
Yeah, taking the leftovers after like everybody finished. No, he was quite big. He was huge. But you know, you were not allowed to interrupt. So I did say, you know, you can't interrupt. And as I was walking up, he was just like fuming because, you know, I was just like not listening to what he was saying. And for some reason, I just decided to run down a ramp into the door. And then what I did is I closed the door behind me, and that pissed him off. So he ran, and then he got me into a chokehold against the wall. Obviously, people are walking by, but, you know, you're not allowed to say anything. You know, if you see stuff, you don't say anything. And
That's like
what,
part of their rules, that if you go against them, you'll just be sentenced to more labor or something like that.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, you know, and then what happened was that he got me in a chokehold, and he was just like, you know, what did he say? He said something to me. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, again, like one of these esoteric terms of the Scientology, like buzzwords and stuff. And then I kind of got away from him, ran up the stairs, and he ran behind me. So I kicked him, and he fell down the stairs.
Go, girl.
Obviously, that pissed him off even more.
Screw L. Ron Hubbard. I'm applauding you.
And obviously he ran much faster than I did, and we were in the place, and then he grabbed me in the public area as well. So like any public could have walked out to the bathroom or something, and that's when somebody stepped in. Then it wasn't for my safety. They were like, no, the public might see this. And it was just like, oh. Anyways, it was not because a grown man was literally trying to, like, you know, throw a 17-year-old girl on the floor. It was because it would be bad PR for Scientology.
Jesus
you know?
Christ.
So,
how did these people get so warped in the head that their morals are so backwards?
You know what? That is one question I still ask myself, because I'm like, I got brought into this and I still saw the cracks. You know what I mean? It's not like, and most of the people that are in, they had a life, you know, and, you know, they grew up and outside it. But even though I was taught that this was apparently acceptable, it felt, you know, unacceptable, you know? So
was that something you witnessed frequently, violence on people?
it was done to me. I seen that, you know, I don't know if I could call it violence. It's still disgusting because with other men on men, I don't think, you know, they would rough each other up, you know. But one common thing was that they'd get thrown in the lake. And if you have a look at pictures of Saint Hill, you'll see it's always like, it's majestic, it's beautiful on pictures, you know, and there's always a lake, and the lake looks amazing. It's like picturesque.
And they were thrown into the lake?
Yes, but plot twist, right next to the lake was a cesspool, and all the sewage would actually seep into the lake. So the closer you got to the lake, it looked beautiful, but it stunk of sewage.
That is the perfect metaphor for Scientology. A beautiful looking lake with shit in it.
But you know, like if you throw someone in, obviously, like, you know, sewage contaminated water, honestly, it's disgusting. You know, they can have like serious health issues, you know, but yeah, they would get thrown in there as a punishment.
Punishment again. It blows my mind how these people get away with this.
The thing is, I think it's just like you're taught from very early on in Scientology that anything good that happens is because of Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard. Therefore, you should clap to him as many times during the day because that was his doing. But anything bad, negative that happens to you is because you wanted it to happen and therefore created that situation, like a manifestation in a way.
Isn't that a genius circular logic? So there's no way to disprove Scientology then, according to them.
Exactly. Yes. So
It's
basically,
unbelievable.
and it's like for everything. Yes. If somebody came in and like in my case, and hence why, you know, when I was beaten up twice by this fucking dude, it was my fault.
Wow.
It wasn't his
As a
fault. It was like
minor.
you wanted this to happen one way or another. Hello, baby. Um, so yeah, it's just like everything. If you get cancer, if you get any illness, that's because you wish that illness on yourself.
What
Yeah.
happens if somebody does get an illness like cancer? Are they allowed to get medical treatment?
They do. They reject most of, you know, obviously the chemotherapy because, you know, it's like, oh, don't take it. It's not going to work. You know, it's much better if you do auditing,
Oh
you know,
my God.
to cure it. And, you know, a few people have, quite a lot of people actually have gotten cancer over the years there. It was like, and then and died from it, which is like, okay, well, why is this not working? But again, if you know, the Scientology scriptures and what they call technology wasn't working, is because you didn't want it to work.
Oh my
You see
God.
what I mean? So it's like it's Scientology is never in the wrong. You see what I mean?
Hmm.
So if people are upset with you, or if you get thrown in the lake, or it's literally your belief. I must have wanted this.
I was just gonna say that. I remember hearing that John Travolta, his son died and his wife died, and I heard that they weren't given proper treatment.
Yeah. No, they didn't. They don't. You don't do treatment. It's just to tell you, like, when I was 13 years old and I was there, you know, and I had my appendix taken out, and even like painkillers, I wasn't allowed to take painkillers. So I had major surgery as a 13-year-old child, and I was told to reject every painkiller that was provided to me. So it's like waking up, and I was in so much pain. I was, you know, it's not nice
Ooh.
being opened up. Like I recently just had like a hysterectomy. So again, I got like, you know, opened up again, open surgery. But I could medicate, you know, it was so
Mhm.
much easier because I had like, you know, I had really, really strong pain to keep. And I remember I did not have that before when I had my appendix taken out, and it
Oof.
was so, so harsh. But even painkillers, they don't want you to take.
It's unbelievable too. Like, who are these people making medical decisions for a child as if they're your parents?
Yeah. And it's no, it's very true. And you know, the guy that actually like assaulted me twice, he's the same guy. I had obviously antibiotics. You know how important antibiotics are after you've had like open surgery.
Yeah.
I had to take these antibiotics, and this guy had no training, medical training. But one morning he saw me taking my pills at breakfast. He looked at the bottle and he's like, "You shouldn't be taking those. You need to get rid of them." So I ended an antibiotic course,
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
you know. But that's how careless that they are. Like they don't believe in anything like medical, medicine, anything. Psychologies, you know, don't get me wrong. Like I always am still against anything like, you know, ECT or, you know, lobotomies and things
Yeah.
like that. I
Same.
think they, you know, they can really mess you up. But like therapy or psychotherapy, I think might be useful to some people, you know, medical medicines to like cure, not cure, but to help with like bipolar, you know, ADHD, things like this are, you know, it helps people, you know. But yeah, they would just anything to do. If it wasn't like a vitamin or herb or something, they just, yeah, they didn't want you to take it at all.
So how old were you when you ended up leaving?
Just before my 21st birthday.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I at least like, you know, there are probably some people who don't get out until they're much. I think Leah Remini was in like what, her 40s or something when she left.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. No,
so
it
wait,
was.
so oh sorry, go
Tell
on.
me. No, 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 no. Tell me.
So you're in the Sea Org. When was it that you started encountering these people like Tom Cruise or David Miscavige?
Um, every year they do like the what is it called, IAS event, which is the International Association of Scientologists, which is a massive global event. Like think about like the Oscars, that's
Yeah.
like equivalent to it. Happens in Saint Hill every year. That's where I was, and I would do the painting of the stage, like do all the setting up of the stage and things like that, as well as doing security, and hence why I got to be security, like the security, one of the security guards for Tom Cruise, security guards for Miscavige, pretty much every year. Now, Tom Cruise didn't come every year. I think he started coming like from 2004, 2005, every year.
That
Uh,
does seem to be around the time that he got more crazy with the Scientology, at least
yeah,
publicly. So, what do you think about that? Was like Nicole Kidman holding him back a bit, or that's why they got
I
rid of
think
her?
so. I honestly think so because Nicole has always been like seen, like Scientology has been wanting to break Nicole and Tom Cruise up for years because she's not accepting of Scientology. So she was definitely holding him back. And then when that happened, and then he started dating Katie Holmes,
Oof.
that's when he kind of like literally was unleashed
Have
upon
you
the
heard
world.
about how she had to escape? That she had to, her dad was a lawyer, and she had to go through this whole process and like do it very secretively.
Mm. Yeah, that's how a lot of people escape. It's very secret, and it depends on obviously how high they are. The higher you are, the most likely you're going to escape in secret.
Really?
Uh, because the just to kind of like if you go to, and it's happened to me a few times, I was like, oh, I don't want to be here. You go up to them and you speak to the ethics officer and you say, I don't want to be here anymore. And then that's it. They ostracize you and nobody's allowed to talk to you. They put you on hard labor. Um, and you have to study for like 6 hours a day. You have to write all your sins until you get like a pass on the magic e-meter thing that doesn't work. Um, and um, and then you have to, and the process can take from 6 months to a year where you're not part of the group. Yeah. So
Oh
everything that
God.
you've known for years and years gets taken away from you. Especially with me, like growing up, all my friends from school were there. It's just like nobody is allowed to talk to you. If you found laughing with other people, it's like, oh, you're colluding or you're trying to make them leave with you. Um, yeah, so it's just kind of like it's very isolating and it's exhausting, but also in my case, as I didn't have family to help me. My mom wasn't going to leave. She didn't want to leave.
Really?
Yeah. And, I didn't have family here. I completely lost touch with my family in the Caribbean. And, it's just like, who's going to help me? And that's what they held always over my head. Who's going to help you when you leave? Where are you going to go?
Wow. It's amazing how it really is the classic behavior of abusers.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it's
it's the
it's
same thing that an abusive partner would do.
yes,
Oh, if you leave
exactly.
me, you're gonna have no one. You're nothing without me.
yeah, like where you go live, you know, how you go to eat, you know, and all of that. And I think it got to such a, like, it got so much so that one day I woke up and I'm like, I don't care. And I did say that to somebody. I said, I don't even care if I'm homeless as long as I'm out of here.
Wow.
And they were like, ah, okay, well, she needs to go then. And they got somebody to help me out, quote unquote. But it was kind of like that situation was like jumping out of frying pan into the fire kind of thing, because
Mhm.
again, I was dealing with a Scientologist, and he was such an asshole. You know, and I never got like anyone helping me out. You know, it's always had to, like, you know, if I stayed at somebody's house, you know, I'd pay them obviously rent. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
whereas like now if somebody says, oh, I want to leave the seal, I'll be like, yeah, I've got a spare bedroom. You don't owe me anything, I'll help you out. But
Yeah.
with other people, it was just like so transactional. Everything was very transactional. So if I did something for you, I'd expect something back, you know?
Ugh.
Um,
Well, I want to hear about your escape, cruise, Miscavige. Let's just have a very quick word from our sponsor.
It's time for my grifting. Give me all your money. Don't just be a drifter. Help me be a grifter.
Fuck you, pay me.
This is the segment of the show where I make like a Scientologist and say, "Give me your money."
yeah.
So if you like the channel, help support the channel. Send in your super chats. Join my locals. Join my Patreon. Become a channel member. Do all the stuff. We do movie nights. We do game nights. We're gonna do movie night this week. Duke, I know you're watching. I'm sorry I've been a little delayed on getting this next movie night together, but it's happening. So yeah, become a channel member. Send in super chats. Do the stuff. Where can people support you, my love?
I don't, I'm not online as I used to be. So, you know, you can always follow me on X. I have my handle at Seabucks Rolls, so you can support me there. I'm always mouthy as hell, so
I
so
love
you
it.
can start.
Yeah, and all the links are below. I was just gonna say
Thank
Mike
you.
just turned into a Scientologist. Listen, everyone will disconnect from you if you don't send in super chats.
Would you become a Scientologist for £1 million?
Hell no.
Two
Would you?
million?
Would you go back for £1 million?
What if we're talking about like for a year and you give me £1 million? I'll probably do it. Yeah.
Really? Okay, yeah, I guess maybe I would like join and then leave immediately.
Yeah.
But if you stay in it, then hell no.
No, exactly. If it was like, yeah, forever, it's like, what are you going to spend your money on?
Also,
Um,
it's not like I would be at risk of my family or friends disconnect because like they would just be like, "Oh, Mike joined Scientology to fuck with them." Of course he did. Like that's just too likely.
yeah,
So,
but
okay,
that
so you're working at this the Oscars of Scientology. What were your interactions like with Tom Cruise? Is he as I don't know, culty as he seems to the
yeah,
outside?
he is. I've, you know what? There's only been like this one interaction with Tom Cruise and me, and the thing is, if you understand the subtlety of how intense Scientology can be, um, it might not mean anything. So I'm just going to try to explain a little bit, okay?
Yes.
So in Scientology, especially in the Sea Org, it's very important for you to acknowledge the presence of higher staff members, you know, like David Miscavige, you know, they're like senior officers of Scientology. And some people have walked past this guy, not seen him, and they got pulled up the next day, ostracized, put on the sideline, put into confessionals to find out what their crimes are because they did not say hello to the chairman of the board or did not say hello to whoever other officer of Scientology. And that's like, when I'm talking about like, that's just like, if you did not see someone, you know, or you were looking the other way and somehow they walked past you and you didn't say, "Hi, sir," that was your fate. The next day you'd have like 3 people and you'd be watched 24/7, watch, which I used to do. Like watch when you're sleeping, watch when you're eating, etc. So that was the culture there, especially when the executive was around. Tom Cruise is also regarded as an executive, and the rationale behind that is that if you're an executive and somebody ignores you, that means that they've done something against you or something against Scientology. So that's, you have crimes, all right? You've sinned, all right?
That's their version of sin, is crimes.
Yes, exactly.
So what do they think your crimes are? Like,
it beats me. Beats me in masturbation.
yeah.
Thinking about fucking someone else.
So why is Tom Cruise in particular viewed with such? Is it because he's famous? Because because he gets people into Scientology?
He doesn't get anyone into Scientology. It's just because he's famous.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't get anyone in Scientology. It's just because he's outwardly, you know, Scientologist that is counted as dissemination, but he doesn't get anybody in. Nobody wants to be in.
So it's not like a bunch of new people are joining.
No. But the thing is, that's another thing. But let me just finish in regards to like that interaction with Tom Cruise.
That's what I was going to ask.
So it's important to acknowledge the presence of, you know, officers and executives. If you don't, that's because you're evil. You're hiding something. All right. And like I said, I was used to painting, doing all the paint works of the stage for this event year in, year out. And we were on the stage and he was backstage and he walked, and I was there with about 5 other friends, and he walked past and they were all excited and then he turned around and then he waved at us, and then everybody went like, "Oh, hi, sir." And I didn't do anything, right? I didn't wave. I didn't acknowledge anything. And he walked away. And then at that moment, he noticed that I did not say hello or wave. And he spun around and looked at me. And then I was like, I shat myself though. And I just give him a nod and he was like, and then he walked off. And I was just like, if I hadn't acknowledged his presence, I would have had like 3 people. I would have been guarded 24/7.
Guarded?
Yes.
What are they guarding you for? What do they think? What do they think?
That you escaped. That you'd escape because people have escaped. Physically. So you're guarded like 24/7. That's what I mean. Like, you know, Mike Reindeer?
Yeah.
I guarded him. So he didn't escape Scientology.
Oh my God! So when you're guarding them, what are you doing? Just like waiting outside their apartment?
Yeah, like he's like, if he goes like to eat in the mess area, you're like there watching him eat, making sure that he doesn't like up and run and out into the gates.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you're guarded, you know. And I did the guarding. I did the guarding for like people who, you know, were homosexuals.
Wait, so you guard people to make sure they're not doing gay stuff?
I'm so embarrassed. No, it's basically they found out that they've obviously slept with the, you know, the same sex. So obviously that's a sin. And then so they have to tell on their crimes. They have to be doing confessionals, do hard labor, and then you have to guard them the whole time because obviously because they know it's such pressure on the person that the person is ready to like run away, and that's why they guarded. So yeah,
Who was
it's just
guarding John Travolta or Tom Cruise for these things?
right?
For their gay shit. That's what
No,
my
they don't
friend
get guarded.
my friend Lainey wanted me to ask you if Tom Cruise is a gay.
I don't think he is, but I think John Travolta is, you know.
Yeah, he's a little light in the loafers. So is that how, I've always wondered, is that how, it seems to me from the outside like auditing would just be a way of them collecting your secrets, and then is that how they keep people in, that they just threaten to blackmail you?
Yeah, and you know, it's even worse because, you know, if you detract from Scientology, if you no longer believe in it, it's not only that they've got your secrets, the things that personal that you've told them, but also that they'll make up stuff about you that they said that you've told them because, you know, you're familiar with the fair game policy.
Yeah, that's where they go after people who leave.
Yes, and that's basically what everybody, like, you know, Katie Holmes is avoiding, you know, like anybody who's out there, because they will make up anything, because it's literally in the policy. If you read it, it says you can make up any lies that you, as long as the, you know, the person is an enemy of Scientology, yeah, and then
Wow.
like you can make up any lies about them, and that's something that I see as well a lot with the transgenderism cult. Yeah, they just make up stuff, you know,
Yep.
like J.K. Rowling is, you know, hates trans people. Okay, where did she say that?
She's a
Oh,
Nazi.
but no, it's, you know, like she's never said anything like that, but it's always the same thing. Oh, J.K. Rowling did this, and you kind of like, where? And then like, oh well, I don't know. I've been told, but where is it? And they can't tell you because it doesn't exist. And that's what happened, is that, you know, a lot of lies being told, and obviously people don't go, you know, fact check anymore. Not that they did in the past. So yeah,
No,
just
and they
kind of,
do the same thing with, you know, somebody like Charlie Kirk. Oh, he was a Nazi. He spreaded hate. He said that
yes,
gay people should be put in ovens. You're like, where did he say that? Oh, I don't know, but trust me, he did. And then he uses justification to kill him.
exactly. That's exactly that. But obviously I don't know if they go as far as killing people, but it's not far off, you know, when you're being like people just following at your house, you know, intimidating you with cameras so that they can send to the, you know, to the church that they've bullied you. And it's just like intimidation, and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Psychological warfare, is that the right term?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like that. So
You don't think they kill people? I feel like it wouldn't surprise me.
it wouldn't either. It just depends on how much they have to lose. So it
Yeah.
must be a rather big fish. I always had like my conspiracy theory, because you know, oh, what's his name? Hoffman, you know, the actor that played L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I never
Yes,
actually saw that movie. I need to.
yes. Well, you know what? It was basically my mother told me this, and that's how they kind of like also used to control people from the inside, because they tried to stop that movie being made.
Really?
And they were against yeah,
It
Philip
was
just
fictional, wasn't it?
it was, but it's like, you know, based on Elman Hubbard, and
Yeah.
that's a big no, you know, like it was like, you know, I don't know, like making like, it's blasphemous basically to them, isn't it? So so basically the spin on that Scientology put like on his death was that because he played and didn't portray LRH in the good light,
Mm,
that's how he got punished. He just died because he took the piss out of LRH.
wow. Yeah, this is what I was waiting to ask you this, but we all want to know, where's Shelly?
I have no idea. And
Do you
you know what?
I think they killed her.
It'd be
Did you ever
sad.
have any interaction with her? Did you ever see her?
You know what? Can I just say, I thought I had an interaction with Shelley, but it turned out it wasn't Shelley because I saw the woman. She appeared on Leah Remini's, show. Can't
Mhm.
remember what it was. She's a pretty like curly haired like blondie.
Oh, I
And
know
I
who you mean.
thought, yeah, and I thought
Oh.
she was Shelley Miscavige. But she wasn't. She was the actual, the personal assistant of David Miscavige. And I've, had a few interactions with her, thinking she was Shelley the whole time.
Oh my God, that's
But it
hilarious.
wasn't her. So I know that one of the kids worked with Shelley when I was there. So, but I don't think I've ever seen her really.
It
It's
seems like
just,
no one's seen her.
not since like we were probably like 13.
Holy shit. Do you think she was questioning? What would you guess happened? That she's just escaped quietly, or
No, not with being like the wife of the head of a multi-million dollar money making machine. I don't, either she's trapped still, or it could be that she probably passed from being mistreated, put in
God.
those holes, the places where they don't feed you, pardon me, where they don't give you enough sleep, where they keep interrogating you, making you work in atrocious weather outside.
Again, I know I already asked you, but again, how are these people getting away with it?
Mhm.
The fact that these are things that we know are going on, and it's just allowed to. Like if you or me or anyone in the chat did half of these things to someone, if we took someone over our apartment and starved them and denied them medical treatment, we would be in jail. But if we called ourselves Scientologists, we would not be.
Yeah, but does that ring familiar to anything else?
What do you mean?
Like, as in, like, if can you see the similarity?
I just have to identify as something.
Like with the transgender cult, it's like they can read to children naked, nothing happens. They dance like inappropriately in front of children, like throwing money, nothing happens. The police is not there. They enter female spaces, expose themselves. It's the women who complains that get arrested, kicked out, and banned.
Yep.
You see what I mean? It's
That's
very
crazy.
much. It's the same.
It's like a get out of jail free card. Be a Scientologist or a trans.
But I think it all comes down to money and lobbying.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. Is as long as you've got a few people, like important people in your pockets, a lot of them just turn a blind eye. In Clearwater, didn't have the entirety of the Clearwater police station bought out.
Jesus, it's crazy too, because I remember going to Clearwater. So my grandparents, when I was a kid, lived right by Clearwater, and I remember going there when I was a little kid, and it was so beautiful. And now it's deserted. It's just empty Scientology buildings.
It's wild how you can turn thriving. And the thing is, from the inside, every year, in all of our events, and we've got like a New Year's event, we got like, the L. Ron Hubbard birthday party, we've got the Dynetics, we've got the Free Waynes, the IAS in October. We've got all of these. They love
throwing parties with other people's money.
They do, but in every time they show like how well Scientology is doing. And you know what? Like,
Good
that's
luck.
another thing that stood out for me, because it was like, oh, 1 million Scientologists have been made this year. And it's like, yeah, you know, and I'm like, and I step out in the real world, and I don't even see one advert, you know, of Scientology, that they say that, oh, we've got so many adverts here, that's how we bring all these people. And then I go out, and then they're like, you know, I introduce myself, or I make conversation with someone, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a Scientologist. Oh, what is that? And I'll be like really shocked that people did not know what Scientology was, because from the inside, everyone knows about
Wow.
Scientology. You know what I mean? It's not like a cult or like a niche little thing. It's literally like, we're massive, you know, we're raking like millions of people a year, you know,
Wow.
and
So
that's not true.
what were your interactions like with David Miscavige? Because I find that guy terrifying. He seems like a full-on legitimate sociopath. He's like, isn't he short too? He looks like a little Napoleon.
Yeah, he's very short. Honestly, you know, I've had 2 interactions with him. One, I almost didn't see him again.
Oh no, Jen.
Yes, because, and also that back in the day, I didn't have enough money to be able to get a pair of glasses. So my vision was basically blurry.
And they'll
And
probably tell you that's because you didn't pray to L. Ron Hubbard hard enough.
I did it to myself, Mike. Oh man, but I remember I always, yeah, I was already on high alert, because I've seen people getting into trouble for not acknowledging his presence. And yeah, I walked past a bush, and then I was like, hold on a second, let me just back it up. And then so I backed up, and I saw from his silhouette, very short guy, that it was him. And I was like, hi, sir. And he was like, oh, hi. And he started talking. And then one day I was like washing his car, and then we just
You were
making small
washing
talk.
his car?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a pretty expensive car, right?
No.
Really?
It wasn't, because it had to be like on the down low. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like on the big expensive cars, yes, they did have those execs, but for him, sometimes they'll use a more inconspicuous car. You know what I mean? But that was like, yeah, back in the day. But yeah, no, it's just like these kind of two face-to-face interactions that I had. But yeah, I've had like a few interactions with other executive. His dad, Miscavige's dad, actually, I used to talk with him every year when he came down.
He left, right?
Yeah, and he passed away as well, like a few years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who was it? Who's the girl? His daughter that left? Was it, or his niece or something?
No, I think it was just, you know
There was
what?
another Miscavige. Jenna Miscavige. Who is that? His niece or someone? But somebody.
You know
Jenna.
what?
Yeah.
It rings the bell, but I
The
can't
whole
tell
fam. So basically, the whole family, other than him, is either left, and the one who we don't know about is missing. Funny how that works.
Yeah, no, but you know, you all say this. We all say the same thing. Like, when we're inside, it's like we're doing amazing. We're doing what's right. That's why we don't fight back, because at the end of the day, it's like it's all worth it. You know what I mean? It's like we're saving people, and then but when you step out in the real world, and when you see what people say about like Scientologists back then, you know, and we're like, this is how people see us. And then we kind of like hear about the you know, the violence, like David Miscavige, you know, how he's quite violent apparently. But I could see that happening, because it obviously trickled down.
Yes.
So that at some point it was me that was, you know, that was a victim of that. So yeah, you know, yeah, I'm so gutted. This is what, you know, my life. until I was 21 because I truly did
Don't
not
be.
know.
You're amazing. Are you kidding? You're badass.
But yeah, I came out and I just did not know anything about life whatsoever. So and I just had to like, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I want to get into. How did you leave? How did you escape? What led up to it? Were you just sort of questioning things for a while?
Yeah, just questioning everything, like the times I would step out and it was just like we never saw or heard like about the adverts that they were saying that, you know, they'll be like, oh, we spend 1.2 million on adverts, you know, around the UK, and then you step out in the real world and you don't see any adverts. Nobody knows what Scientology is, or they'll be like, oh yeah, isn't that the thing Tom Cruise is in? And it's like, yeah, but you should know a little bit more. We spend a lot of money on advertising. But yeah, they just kind of like, it was that plus you know, people being worked to the bone, not getting enough pay, not getting enough sleep, and it's just like, no, that doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? It just doesn't, it doesn't look right, it doesn't sound right. And I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't. And at first they were just like I said, they were just like, oh, where are you gonna go, where are you gonna, you know, how are you gonna do,
Typical
you know,
abusive language.
yeah, you don't have any family, you know, oh, and I was just like, I don't care, even if I'm homeless, I'm going. And one of the ethics officers' brothers used to live in Edinburgh, and he was like, oh, I'll help you leave, you know. And then that's how it happened. I moved to Edinburgh to like, and he had like a few properties, so I rented from him. And he wanted me to work in his car wash, which essentially was my first job leaving. But he was such a prick, such a prick. He was like the worst boss. He would just scream at you. Even like the customers in the car is like, who the fuck is this guy? Because he's got a problem, you know. And then yeah, and when I quit, he was like, well, then you can't live in my property. So then I was like, oh man, I'm going to be made homeless, man. And, you know, like I just left. I have not built any credit, you know, to be able to like rent, you know, to pass all the checks. And then, and then he had a cousin who I'm sure is a pedophile. Like I'm sure. I don't care if it's like, you know, libel or not. I'm sure he is. Because he would always have teenage kids and then offer them drinks in his flat. But that was my only option. And
Jesus.
I started working for him as a landscaper. And then one day when the guy made me homeless, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna live with you. And he's like, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. And I didn't give him a choice. I just moved in. It was that or homelessness, you know. And then, but in, you know, I think a year later, I was able to get myself out of that situation, renting, you know, like. But it, you know, it was just kind of like always stumbling into like the worst kind of situation again and again. I didn't have like my mom. I didn't have any like friends, money, you know, like jobs as well. Like,
Well, so
you know,
how did you actually leave Scientology? Did you just like walk out one day? Did they know you did?
Oh no, you know, they do the thing where they ostracize you first. You're not allowed to speak to anybody. They do hard labor. So
You got thrown into that?
Yeah, like for a year and a half, I was doing that.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, they don't want to let you leave, you know. And it's only because I can't remember what happened, but they didn't want me to leave, and I was like, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave, and they were going to declare me an SP as well. Because I was like upsetting everyone apparently by wanting to leave.
Wow.
But I was like, I want to leave, I want to leave. And I think it's because they kept it in such a small bubble and were trying to bully me out of out of leaving. And then I spoke to another executive who we used to be friends actually before he kind of like ascended, and he was in charge of the people who were bullying me. And then one night I heard him scream. He was like, if she wants to go, then she goes, she's been like here for 18 months, it's enough. She's done everything that you asked of her. It's time for you to let her go. And literally like 2 days later I was out.
Wow. Did you ever hear from them again? Like,
no,
they just kind of left you alone?
No, there was like this, the thing is, when you leave, you can't really speak to them anymore. Then there's a lot of people that I wanted to like stay in touch with, people that you grew up with, and so on. Like for example, the second time I was assaulted was in the office with like, I think there was like 5 people, and watching me being beaten against filing cabinets, and nobody said a word except my old school friend that I grew up with in the cadet org. He's the only guy, and he got in so much shit for like standing up for me. He was just like, stop hitting her, you can't hit women.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just, honestly, like, I still want to like thank him properly, because
I wonder if he ever got out.
I don't think he has. But yeah, it was just like he stopped that beating, basically.
Wow.
He was the only one in the office who did. Don't get me wrong, it's not acceptable to beat people, because when this happened and I contacted the highest person there, she did come down hard on that guy and said, next time you touch a woman, you go on the RPF. And the RPF is basically Scientology prison.
There's Scientology prison?
Yeah.
That's gotta suck. What is Scientology prison?
It's basically, you know how they ostracize you, but for like 15 years. And
they sentence you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's basically like the whole thing. Like with Mike Rinder was there, like, yeah, like so many people, and sometimes they've been there for like 20 years.
So you were part of what did they call it? You were guarding him.
Yeah.
So did he leave after that?
Well, no. For that was just like in terms of like the Scientology prison kind of the way it worked. But that was just that conversation. But yeah, with Mike Rinder, I did guard him once he was here. But yeah, that was different. Yeah, that was just a different time.
Oh wow! And he ended up leaving after that. Yes,
and he ended up leaving. Well, probably about 4 or 5 years after that.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
Did you ever get in touch with any sort of other people who left Scientology?
I'm in touch with some of them, but if they're still in touch with Scientology, they're not going to be my friends. Like they will just not talk to me.
Or no, I mean people who left.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So even if they leave, they still want to like be in good standing with the Scientology, even if they're not doing it.
Wow. So even leaving, they're able to exert control over some people.
Absolutely. And you know what? I had like a best friend growing up, and we're always like together. And it made this whole experience bearable, okay, because we were doing our own thing. We're always like not with the main group, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I think I would have left a long time before then. But he left. But I think it's like this whole thing was so traumatic. Like I've healed from it, but he hasn't. But like he barely talks to me, even though we're in, like we were like childhood best friends. But through trauma, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes I'm trying to get in touch with him and stuff, and he's just like, he's doing well and stuff, but yeah, it's just like I can't even like rekindle a friendship here, because I think it brings back too many like bad memories for him. So because he was actually born there, yeah.
Oh,
Like I
geez.
arrived when I was 10, but he was literally born in the Sea Org. And bless him, because he did say like, and the food there was fucking like, it was like worse than prison food. Yeah,
Really?
we didn't have any fresh like foods or whatsoever, and the food that they like, the meats, they'd get it on discount because the meat would have gone off like 6 months.
Oh my God.
You get like meats that are like frozen,
Yeah.
but then it still has an
You would think with all the money they're getting from people, if it goes somewhere, it goes right in their damn pockets.
Yeah, it does. That's why I was so disillusioned. I was like, how are we eating like this? How are we not sleeping? And how are we making like £250,000 per week? And still not be able to be properly fed, So
what about your mom? Did you guys were you able to talk again?
Yeah, I helped her leave.
Oh, she did leave.
Yes, I helped her leave like 6 years ago.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet because my mom's not a nice person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's not. I mean, she abandoned me like twice,
Yeah.
between like being born and 5 years old,
Yeah.
And then there's like that. But, I kind of always forgiven her, and also like, she's my mom and stuff. But when I helped her leave the Sea Org, she was just insufferable. And also like,
how long was this after you left?
That was like about a good 10 years.
Oh, wow. So what prompted her to want to leave? She was just done with it, or?
I think so. I mean, she'd gotten like breast cancer. So I was like, like whenever they didn't want her to deal with her, they'd send her to me. You know what I mean? So like I was the one that helped her through her breast cancer. And then she went back, and then I was like, you need to leave, and she was just like, oh, but no, it's going to be so hard. How, I was like, I'll help you find a job, I'll just help you out. And eventually, I think there was so much drama between her and staff there that they just like, she was almost let go. It's kind of simultaneous thing. But the thing is about my mom is she also has like a bit of a mental illness that mental illness is afflicted in my family towards women, the female side, like delusions, not schizophrenia. Sorry, I'm trying to find the word. But yeah, like delusions, paranoia. That's the one. As well, and she has that, which just makes it so hard to help her, and I'm not equipped for that. And no, I sound like an arsehole, but at the same time,
no, you don't.
Yeah, I don't have the capacity right now. I kind of like
course.
I just want to, from now until I die, I want to have a good life. You know what I mean? And that's something that I've not been able to have up until very, very recently. So it's like I don't deal with people's bullshit anymore. And my mom has plenty, unfortunately. So about 4 years ago, I did go no contact with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she was just she just destroyed she came out of Scientology, and then she destroyed my life, and then she went to France and destroyed the rest of my family's life.
Did she ever have any sort of reckoning, like, or apology to you? Sorry for the cult I brought you into as a child.
No, she said actually because when I was about 10 years old, I was given a pamphlet of what it would be to be a Sea Org member as a child. And it had like things like, oh, we play a game, we do horse riding and things like that, like fun things that a kid would like to do. So I was like, okay, I want to join. And then she was like, oh, okay, well, then we will join. So basically, the whole cult thing, joining the Scientology thing, the Sea Org was my doing.
Yeah, they don't put that part in the pamphlet.
They don't, no. So basically, for me, it was like, well, you wanted to go, so we went.
Wow. That's sick.
So, yeah, she's
I'm
not
sorry you had to deal with this shit.
No. I just want peace and quiet now. I want safety. I want happiness.
So what have you been up to since? What are things like for you in the years since you left?
They've been really wobbly. Obviously, I've had like a lot to work through. At first, it was I didn't speak about it. Pardon me. I didn't speak about Scientology at all. I also hid the fact that I was ever a Scientologist and was in a Sea Org, but that's really hard to hide when you've been there basically all your childhood.
Yeah.
So it took me really, really, really long time to even like get deprogrammed and then start speaking out against Scientology and just to see what the damage that it did to me, mentally, physically as well. That honestly, that was not an easy journey. But it's again very recently that I think that I've pulled through. It's kind of like I still have like nightmares, like probably like once or twice a week, where I'm back in the Sea Org and I'm trying to escape, and it's just recurring nightmares, but it's like now I'm completely used to it. And then honestly, it was just kind of hard trying to find jobs at first. No education, no nothing. And obviously when you put like Scientology, like experience or in the Church of Scientology, people are like, what the fuck? No, I don't want money. So I had to like go and start from like really basic low entry jobs and then work my way up to where I am now. And honestly, like it's I'm like the best that I've ever been now. I've got a really good career, really good job, financially stable, like
for you.
I'm really happy. And, honestly, I'm really grateful because I came out of Scientology with like 12 pounds to my name. And then to just get to where I am without, the assistance of a parent or, anything. It was just kind of like, I did all of this. Like, yeah.
You're a badass, Jen.
Yeah.
So when was it that you started? What was your early experiences noticing the gender cult and the similarities between that and Scientology?
Well, it was in 2017 or 18. I had an ex-girlfriend who, started seeing things on, on YouTube, and especially, is it Riley Dennis? Is it?
Oh, I forgot about that bitch.
Yeah, so the whole time where he's like, it's, and like, lesbians can be attracted to penis, and it's just like that's where it started. And then at first I was kind of like quite open-minded, because I've never had a problem with transsexuals, literally like no problem whatsoever. Oh, you're trans? Oh, okay, cool. Carry on. You know what I mean? But it's what really kind of like set me off is the whole denying that homosexuality is a thing, or that homosexuality includes the opposite sex or attraction to the opposite sex. Because I'm like, well, then it doesn't exist. And
which were the same arguments that you were being fed as a child in Scientology.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
unbelievable.
And you know, in Scientology, they
Wait,
do
by the way,
say
your friend was talking about Riley Dennis and wasn't Riley, right?
no, no, it wasn't Riley. It was
Yeah, I
this
thought
my
you
ex
said
at the
your
time.
friend was
Yeah.
talking about.
No, 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 no. But yeah, she introduced me to the whole transgender thing, basically,
Mhm.
you know, as it was. Because in Scientology, the idea is that you're a spirit inside a body. All right. When you die, your body dies, your spirit gets plugged into either the moon or some volcano somewhere. I can't remember where on Earth. You get your spirit gets brainwashed so that you forget your lifetime that you just lived, and then it gets pumped into a pregnant lady. I think it's 3 months.
Who hopefully
Where
isn't pregnant in the Sea Org. It won't be a pregnant lady for much longer.
yeah, that's right. And so it goes into a pregnant lady. That's where you then get reborn into Earth. You know, so that's the premise. Is also the
Makes
premise
sense.
of reincarnation, right? It's the same
Yeah.
principle. So with Scientology, if you're a homosexual, it means that your previous life, like for example, I was a man, and my wiring, you know, I didn't forget that, you know, coming back. So now I'm in the body. I'm basically born in the wrong body. Yeah, I'm in the body.
Wow.
I'm in the body of a female with a straight man spirit, basically, inside of me. Hence why I am a homosexual. And that needs to be audited out of me, basically, in Scientology. But guess what else? You know, what other cult says that you can be born in the wrong body? Transgenderism. You know, so that's the yeah, that is another. There's so many things, and I really wanted at some point to really sit down and just make videos at some point when I've got the time.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah, no, it's time consuming. If I had like, maybe I
Yeah.
should pay somebody to do the editing because that does my head in. But but yeah, it's just there's so many things about it that it's just like you basically believe in the same thing, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they both, yeah, they just both hate homosexuality. Like, if you have a look at the transgender cult and how many words they have for these identities, for these other sexualities, which is basically saying bisexuality in like 72 other labels, all
Yeah.
right? But they do not have a single label that describes, you know, exclusive same-sex attraction,
Yeah.
either male or female. It always has to include, you know, like opposite sex. And you're like, well, you're erasing homosexuality by doing that. So what's the deal with that? You know?
And they employ a lot of the same tactics that Scientology or any other cults do by going after anyone who speaks out, disconnecting people.
Same, yeah. Like if you have a look at the detransitioners and how they attacked, it's exactly like the you know, the behaviors and the tactics that they use against people like Mike Frinder, you know, Leah Remini, and all of these people. So it's exactly like it's a cult at the end of the day. It's just a belief system that people are free to believe in if they want to, but to make other people believe in the same is yeah, is it's lunacy, you know. And they again, they target children, you know, in school system. Transgender cult targets children from school, you know. They seep into like medicine, doctors. It's a wild thing seeing a doctor that's a Scientologist, because it's like they're a doctor, but simultaneously they're not, because they don't really
Same
believe
thing
in
with
their
this.
gospel.
It's the
Sorry?
same thing with this. People who are adherents of gender ideology, but then they're doctors and they think it's perfectly fine to remove healthy body parts from children
Yes.
or put children on hormones. It's sick.
Yes, exactly. That's a really good, that good spot, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think whenever there's a meeting between medicine and ideology, the only path that's going to happen is some evil shit.
it is absolutely, and you know, like I said, it's like, you know, I don't believe in religion either, but I'm never going to mock somebody's religion. You know, there's a reason why sometimes people have to believe in something, you know. Sometimes it's the only thing that keeps them around, you know. But yeah, when you start making legislations that people need to follow your doctrines,
Yeah.
especially children, and the way that you react when people actually start questioning what you do, start questioning how you treat people who deflect, and then you literally take away their livelihoods, you like drive them away, you separate them from their own family units, then yeah, we definitely got to have a problem, you know. And I think I never ever, and as much as before I used to be like, you know, oh yeah, you know, trans women are women, and then on the you know, lesbian forums, for example, just trying to have a conversation. Okay, well, you can be here. We can definitely share the space. But it's true that, you know, homosexual women are not attracted to the opposite sex. Oh, how dare you? You know, I feel like, you know, you're rejecting, or, you know, like all the buzzwords that they used to say about, you know, how they feel othered, and how, you know, I'm a genital fetishist, and, you know, vagina obsessed. And it's like, no, that's that's not the point. But, you know, you're never going to win anybody over by just forcing yourself, basically, on them, really. So that is the point. And yeah, if they had minded their business, that is in like worn what they wanted to wear, right?
Yeah.
Be whoever they wanted to be, but stay away from children, you know, allow space for homosexuals, you know, to be homosexuals. I don't think they would have had a problem.
No. Nobody gave a shit about any of this. Nobody had spent 2 seconds of their lives thinking about any of this stuff before they decided to encroach upon every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, pretty much. No,
I think though in both cases, I think with Scientology and with gender ideology, I think we're getting to a point where they are both becoming thoroughly exposed.
I think they have for a while, especially Scientology. But you know, like I have learned to never underestimate how much people like to cause chaos, and how evil people can be. You know,
Yeah.
because if you have a look at these doctors that have you know, operated on young children, do you think that they feel like bad at all, you know, for what they've done? They're like, no, they're like, oh, I
No.
got consent, I'm fine.
Ugh.
You know, that, you know, I've literally removed healthy breast tissue from a 13-year-old girl, you know, riddled with like self-harm marks, you know,
Ugh.
like scars.
That's so
But
sick.
she signed the dotted line. That's fine. You know, I was
It's so
only
funny because it really is always the language of abusers that they use, the behavior of abusers, because it's the same thing that's being told to you. Oh, well, you liked the pamphlet when you were 10 years old and joined the Sea Org. It's insane.
No, it's yeah. But I think a lot of people like to do harm, and then wash their hands off of it, you know? And also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed this thing where people have done so much, like they're so ashamed with what they've done so far in life that then they want to become someone else. Yeah. Hence why I think sometimes the transgender thing is a perfect escape to be like a reborn as something else, you know? That rebirth is like completely how do I say that properly in English? It basically is tied to their sexual fetishes, you know, but it is a rebirth nonetheless, you know.
Well, and it's also a total get out of jail free card from any accountability, any responsibility, being able to get away with shit that nobody else could. Just go into the women's locker room. Just go into the women's prison. Like, oh, you're a stunning, beautiful, brave woman. No one cares.
Right?
And then they
No.
try to ostracize the people who do very much care.
And it's like, oh, well, you're a very small minority. TERFs. It's like, no, that's how
Not really.
everyone kind of like that's what most people believe, but are too afraid of saying anything, you know.
Yes.
Same with Scientology, you know. A lot of people walked around like, and then, you know, they saw what they saw and they give you like, oh, I'm sorry, kind of eyes, you know, like I feel sorry for you, this shouldn't have happened. But they let it happen because it's like, it's better that it's happened to somebody else than to them, you know. So but how long have you, so what made you change your mind about everything?
Well, I used to be in my own cult. I was a Democrat. That's the cult I was in. I was a liberal. Oh yeah, I forgot about this, by the way. Good
What?
point. We forget about this. Bruce Jenner killed someone, but Caitlyn Jenner is a lovely driver.
What do you mean by that? What's the story behind this?
Well, as a man, he killed someone. He ran a bitch over.
Oh, did he? I did
And then
not know
suddenly
that.
became a woman and is, you know, mother of our country.
Oh no!
That's what. Did you ever see South Park when they did Caitlyn Jenner just running people over?
No, I didn't. No, I've stopped watching South Park a while ago. So there's a lot of episodes that, yeah, I completely.
Did you ever see
missed.
the Scientology one?
Yes, I think I did. I can't remember it, but yeah, I know. You know what? I'm thinking of the Simpsons one. Do you remember the Simpsons
one?
Scientology?
No,
episode?
they did one?
Yeah, that was hilarious. Actually, you should check it out.
I thought your South Park did.
No, I don't think I've seen the South Park one.
Oh,
But
they did.
because how
I
did
gotta
that
watch
work? Wasn't Isaac Hayes not doing the chef at the time, or
He left after, apparently, because of it.
Okay, yeah.
But no, they did a whole thing where they animated. They were like, "This is what Scientologists really believe."
Oh, I need to go and check it out. Actually,
Oh, it's great. And they have Tom Cruise in the closet, but he said that he was going to sue them, so they put him in an actual closet, telling him to come out of the closet. No, but for me, it was really just like a whole bunch of things like this that woke me up to it. Like all of these things that I'd never heard of before in my life. Suddenly you have to pretend that people are they thems, and you have to pretend all this other shit. And I was just like, no, what are you talking about? There are no they, there are two sexes, there are no theys, and I'm not going along with your bullshit.
And how old are you back then? Or were you back then?
How dare you?
Right. You must have been really young, right?
What's that?
You must have been really young, right?
Oh, thanks.
Or
yeah, sure.
Okay. Now I really want to know how.
No, shut up. I forgot. I haven't decided yet. I don't believe in that.
Okay. So you were younger than what you were. Okay.
I'm a spiritual being, Jen. But yeah, when this stuff started first popping up, And the funny thing is, back then, they've of course mostly stopped speaking to me now, but back then I had friends who were transgender, whatever. I had no problem with it. And the funny thing is, now suddenly they're trying to get in touch with me. Oh, hey, we should get back in touch. I'm like, no, motherfuckers, you people should have been the ones calling this shit out. It shouldn't have had to be me or you.
Yeah.
It should have been you people. And now that you didn't, for the vast majority of them, you pay the cost. You know, you made this bed, now you can sleep in it. It's not my fucking problem.
I admire that, because it's true though. It's true, because that they'll come back crawling, trying to get like people to like, because they know something's up. You know, the support for the cult is going like down. I mean, it's at a cost to like to us, really. You know,
I
like,
know.
a cost to us. But yeah. And then they go like, oh, we told you, you know. I was like, you know what? I'd rather be attacked by, you know, the religious right than be part of your, you know, circus. So
Yeah, same. I'm so sick. I've been so sick of these people. Like, they're just the most miserable bitches in the world. Well, I know it's late there, so I should probably wrap up in a little bit. I don't want to keep you too late, but if anyone has any questions or feels so inclined, send in your super chats, join my stuff. You got to follow Jen. Her links are below. My links are below. Subscribe to my stuff. Doing movie night this week. What have you got coming up? Are you going to be, because I saw your YouTube channel. Are you going to be making more videos?
I don't know, you know, because I've been throwing myself into sports quite hard. Obviously, I'm taking a break, but I don't know. I just found something that I really like doing, and you know, when you just like really into something, and you just like, okay. So I don't think I'll have much time, but I think if I can just pay somebody to do editing on my videos, I think
I'll do it.
Are you looking for a job then?
Yes, I've been job hunting for the longest time now. It's been miserable.
Well, you know what? Let's put a pin in that, because
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
fine just kind of this, and then if you're happy editing it for me, then
I'll
be
do
like,
it. No,
But
because
yeah.
I think everything you're talking about is very important for people to hear. You're amazing to have overcome all this shit. And I mean, how many people that are brought into Scientology or any cult like that at a young age is able to deprogram themselves against all odds?
No, it's true. Honestly, I am grateful, and it's something that I was, like I said, I used to always think of myself as, you know, stupid or like not educated, because I didn't have, you know, the education, you know, like I did really think really low of myself up until kind of recently. I know it sounds bad, but I've just learned to kind of be like, you know what? Every time I tell my story to someone, they're like, I couldn't have done that, especially without a family, without dad, without mom, you know, like, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I should give myself a little bit more credit, you know? So I'm happy, honestly.
Yeah, you should.
You know, but yeah, it was a difficult time. Now I think it's over, and I do feel like my life is starting like now, you know.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm so happy for you that you got out of this shit. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, Mike.
I hope something changes. It's insane that, you know, in the US, they still have tax exempt status. They're able to just abuse people tax free, consequence free.
Yeah, but you know, that's how they got their tax exemption. It was just to harass like all the tax people, like, you know, the office, writing them like constantly, calling. It was just at the end they were like, just fucking get these people off our backs. And that's how they got.
Imagine how evil and demented you have to be to make the IRS bend over for you. That's insane.
It is insane. Honestly, it is. And what's next for you then? When's your next podcast?
I don't know. Later this week, I got to figure out. I have like a couple that I'm trying to set a date on. So probably Thursday or Friday, I will be back, fam. I got Angela coming on soon. I got a couple people I'm waiting to hear back from. I got to make more videos too. I'm horrible about doing that. I've
No,
been so burnt out with politics lately that I'm like, ugh.
yeah. Like sometimes it's like it's annoying because you want to still raise, like, for the people, especially for the people inside. You want to still like talk about it and show different viewpoints, but at the same time it's exhausting. So you just don't want to talk about it, like just leave me
Yeah.
alone.
But I have been going on. I was just on the show, Pop Culture Crisis. You guys check out my episode. I will be back on it next week. I'm very excited. I love just like ranting about movies and shit. Yes, this is all. That's all I want to talk about is movies and horror movies. That's it. If I could just rant about that forever.
This video. Do you have any other plans to like go? Because I like your live interviews.
Oh, thanks. The problem is nobody ever wants to film them for me. I need to, like you say, you need to hire someone to edit. I need to hire someone to film. So, like, I missed the last one. None of my friends want any part of that. So, yeah, I need to just hire someone to be my camera guy next time. Because I love doing that, but nobody ever wants to film that shit for me.
Oh, bless. I would help you if I was in Florida and not in
Come visit. The Florida Tourism Board should just hire me at this point. That every episode of this is just me trying to convince someone to come to Florida. You got to come visit.
I will. Like, I've never stepped foot in the US actually, so maybe one day.
Let's get you here. Well, we'd be lucky to have you. I hope that there are people who are still in the cult that hear what you have to say and get the hell out. I think everything you're talking about is so important, and you're amazing.
Well, thank you, Mike. I do appreciate you contacting me and stuff and offering me a little slot here. So thank you so much.
No, I'm honored. This has been amazing. So where can people find you? I mean, the links are below, but anywhere else, just X or...
Yeah, X mainly, honestly. That's where I shit talk most of the time, to be honest, right now, in between things. So, yeah, that's just where I am at just now.
I love watching you fight all the batshit crazy alphabet people on there.
I'm a bit rude, but, if you're okay.
No, you're not. These bitches deserve it. I think these people, the only thing that they understand is strength, and they do not like it when they can't just run someone down.
Yes, no, that's true. That is true. That's very, very true.
Well, thank you so much, Jen, for being here. You got to come back sometime. We need to hang out. You're amazing.
Yes, I will. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks so much. And thank you, chat fam, for being here. I'll be back later this week with the show. Follow her stuff. Follow my stuff. Hope to see you again soon, Jen. You are amazing. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon.
All right, bye.